Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The Spirit Rebooted. This is episode number 5 of Lizards and Angels. Today, we take a closer look at our dear selves. We are not entirely sure who we are. Even though we know we should be good, hell, even though we want to be good, we have certain strange tendencies. Why do we sometimes feel like smashing things? Why do we hunger after food and lust after skin? Where the hell is all this energy coming from? And it's so fucking distracting. You can't go through a minute without thinking about food, rest, or some kind of sensual titillation. In fact, sometimes it seems like everything anyone does is for sex at some point in the future. If you ain't getting it now, whatever you're doing is to be getting it later. Well, it's not just sex, but like I said, any sensual titillation. These things can be traced back to the most basic of animal needs. And let's face it, we are animals. What are we but evolved lizards? If you look at lizards, they pretty much do what they want. They are literally in the moment. That is because they don't have the hardware to process anything else. Their brains are limited to serving the body's immediate needs. That's why you see lizards crawling all over each other to get their place in the sun, because they don't have the sophistication for manners. They do whatever impulse the body has. They eat whatever, fuck whoever, shit wherever, and sleep whenever. In fact, they are so in the moment that they probably don't mind their lizard brethren climbing all over their faces because they forget about it in the next instance. You might argue that that makes lizards the ultimate chillers, but hey, lizards don't have all this cool shit. Well, thankfully, we're not completely lizard. There is this other side of us that can comprehend the dimension of time because we remember the past and can anticipate the future. Our brains have the hardware to do that, and it's called the neocortex. Furthermore, we can feel things like empathy, love, anger, hate, and we can tell the difference between them. That is, we can tell the difference between right and wrong. We are able to feel the pain of our fellow humans suffering, and we are able to be moved to reach out to help them. This is some kind of angelic quality which sets us far apart from the animals we share our beautiful earth with. Our brains are evolved enough to see 3 dimensions of Newtonian space-time, and the trance state, which is a higher dimensional perception than even that, can be accessed by us with our superior hardware, and maybe a little help from our plant friends. And this is what seems to be the enterprise of life anyway, finding ever higher ways of chilling. So then why are we such assholes occasionally? Where does jealousy come from? Possessiveness? What's up with greed? Why does it feel like we have an insatiable appetite? It seems that we, the poor primate, are halfway between lizards and angels. We're the middle child, and that's why we're so fucked up. Let's try and understand this point of view. Our brains are thought to be made up of 3 parts in what is called the triune model of the brain. It consists of the R complex, the midbrain, and the neocortex, where all the exciting primate human stuff happens, like speech and imagination. Now, this part down here is very interesting, the R complex. It stands for reptilian complex, and is also called the reptilian brain. It takes care of all the mechanical bodily functions, like beating your heart, opening sphincters, reflex action, the instinct to hoard things, ritual behavior. You don't think about those things, your body just does them. And that's this little guy down here, taking care of that stuff. The reptile controller doing the hard job so that you can laze around and watch Quantico. We have evolved into this self-aware creature that does not have to be aware of all the parts that are taking care of themselves. However, we, the latest iteration of that evolution, carry all that evolutionary baggage with us. We too have this lizard body that craves for the same immediate gratification, the same constant thrill of sensual pleasure that drives lizards to do as they please, even if it means killing other lizards. The operating system of a lizard is simple: survive at all costs. And that means being the boss, because that world is survival of the fittest. And that is where this instinct to dominate comes from. The one who dominates will survive the longest and get the biggest pieces of the pie. But when a creature is given self-awareness, then this instinct for domination drives him to chase power. It is a primal urge. It is a sensual titillation of a completely different dimension, of something called an ego, and that explains this voracious appetite for things that symbolize power. money, material, sex, wealth. It is an insatiable beast that consumes and consumes. But this is an itch that will never be scratched. Lizards often kill their own kind, but even a lizard will stop eating once it is full. But how do you fill an ego? When humans go for dominance, it looks like this, and like this, and like this. And, well, you get the picture. And we have wound up putting a system in place that rewards this kind of behavior. And we as individuals keep trying to feed the lizard, not realizing that our collective action is destroying all of nature, not just each other. Why is there so much garbage on TV? Why do we love reality television? Isn't this just an evolved form of the gladiators of Rome? Why do we still respond to this bloodlust? Why is it that we crave for riches and luxury, holding these as the greatest ideals of the human enterprise, not realizing that its roots are simply in the animal body? Ego is coming from the animal body, the lizard within. But wait, it's not all bad. Every day we see instances of kindness and gentleness all around us. Well, let's not forget that we also have this angelic side. And this is the side that creates music and dances and paints and tells stories and laughs and loves. The side that wants to take care of things. The side that seeks beauty in everything. The perception of these transcendental things has been made possible by the neocortex. Well, in order to reach this stage of awesomeness, we had to go through the lizard phase of evolution. That's just the way nature works. Humankind is surely marching towards some kind of trans-dimensional evolution, if we don't blow ourselves up first. But in order to get to that stage, the lizard was a necessary step. So yes, we do inherit this lizard body, and it is a pain. I know we would much rather be in the vast plains of our own imagination all the time, and these vast plains are only accessible to human beings. No other animal, as far as we know, is advanced enough to enter these titanic dimensions of the imagination and beyond. But the lizard body keeps dragging us down. It gets hungry, it gets sleepy, it gets horny, and it has to poop all the time. But we have to accept the lizard body as part of us. It is always going to be there. It reaches back to the very dawn of evolution, to the most primal survival instincts, and it harnesses that ancient energy to survive today. In a sense, the most selfish, animalistic evil exists within us, but so does the potential for making the greatest sacrifices for those we love. The lizard body, the animal instinct, that's the devil, the one who wants to control and destroy everything just to satisfy its own immediate whim. Every human carries that within them, but we also have God in us, that ultimate goodness and love that makes us do great things.
You're gonna make it.
We have the power to decide which one gets expressed more. You have to take care of both. The lizard body is what it is. It can't help it. You have to keep it healthy, you have to feed it well, you even have to address its sensual needs once in a while. Cravings of the flesh are always going to be there as long as you have flesh. But you have the power not to give in to it completely. That's the angel in you. But then again, you don't have to become too spiritual either. There's no need for celibacy or asceticism, because then you end up ignoring the body. And you can't do that because your body is the seat from which you observe the world and worship nature. Indeed, your body is a temple. What's the secret then? Well, you've heard it before. The middle path. You can actually have your cake and eat it too. You can eat good food, smoke your tobacco, make love, but you also have to develop your extra human side, the kindness and generosity. We are half demonic lizard and half angel. Both of them are within us, and we have to make them join hands if we are going to keep our sanity. The angel side wants to do what all of nature wants to do. Chill. And the angel side has allowed for the creation of amazing ways to chill. The trance state shows us that we are evolving into who knows what, but you can bet it will be super groovy. But in order to reach whatever state we are going towards, we have had to pass through this stage, the animal body. All of us have to find that middle path and do it fast, because if we choose to go full animal, then nothing will ever be enough to quench our thirst. No amount of material comfort or power will ever be enough. Let's express our angel side a little more so that we can make this a paradise for everyone. Then one day, we won't have to be lizards anymore. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this content or you know somebody whose spirit needs rebooting, follow our Facebook page. Here's a link. Give us a like, share us, help us spread the message.